Welcome to the show.
Hello, Kat. And everybody else, I guess. I always only say hi to you. Like, screw everybody else. Just hi, Kat.
Yeah. What's up?
Oh, you know, same old. Well, not same old, because now I'm working again. And yeah, I guess like trying to get back into
life is different for you.
It's different for sure. It's, yeah, I don't know. It's exciting to kind of get out of the house a little bit more and get back into sort of a routine. My work hours are all weird right now, so it's kind of hard to do everything else around it. But, you know, I'm working, so I'm kind of excited about that. I get to see people on a regular basis.
Yeah, it's nice.
It is. It's pretty exciting.
I heard on the news that apparently, like Nashville, and I don't think Nashville itself, but Tennessee as a state next week will officially be open again. So not even
Jesus.
We started this first phase and we've just jumped to, you know, the last phase essentially.
Well, but I think Nashville will stay different. Yeah.
Yeah, Nashville is kind of on a different pace and they run it by city too. But yeah, so Nashville will be open, or Tennessee will be open, I should say. Yeah. Not really Nashville, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
I don't know what would be different because I feel like everything where I live and where you live has already been open.
It is, but like, you know, if you go to a restaurant, they're still doing like at least around me, they're still doing like 50% capacity.
So wait. So in 1 week, restaurants are fully open? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, I'm so stressed out.
That's what they're supposed to be.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, I still haven't really been going out. Like, we've still been doing pickup. I don't want to be out in crowds right now. And yesterday was Saturday. Yeah. So we went to the park and it was just like super crowded. Trails were crowded. And we came back home because I just didn't want to be around a lot of people just yet.
Yeah.
So that's just me though.
No, I mean, I kind of agree.
I don't like being around a lot of people generally, so.
I'm the same way. If the park is crowded, I'm out.
I've never seen this many people here. It's like they're going where they can, so it's even more crowded. But,
oh, no.
Yeah. No, we went for a small bike ride yesterday, and, okay, so I got really sick, and I almost passed out, and what it was, I hadn't drank any water. I was totally dehydrated.
Girl.
And Jonathan asked me, he's like, when's the last time you drank water? And I was like, it's been a couple days.
Cat.
I know. I just, being at home, I just don't, like, I've been I drink liquids, you know, but I haven't really been drinking a ton of water. Yeah. And I was so sick.
Oh my gosh.
And he had to like ride back to the truck, come and like pick me up in the middle of the road.
Jonathan, what a hero.
Yeah, he pushed through it. But so I have got 2 bottled waters next to me right now, and I'm just like chugging water. And I'm not gonna do anything like and it was hot yesterday too, and just the heat, and I was completely. I've got to drink more water. I mean, I was just totally dehydrated. So lesson learned for sure.
For sure,
it was scary.
No, yeah, I couldn't tell you the last time I was dehydrated. I drank arguably possibly too much water, but yeah, no, that's definitely scary, especially on hot days like it has been. Also, thank you that spring is finally here. Hopefully to stay for a little while. Like, the weather's been so beautiful. Good. Oh, it's so nice.
It really
outside.
Has been.
I finally turned on the air conditioning in my house at the end of May for the first time all year. Like,
that's just unbelievable.
I refused to turn it on and then freaking turn the heat on like 3 days later. So I've been walking around my house either, you know, hot or bundled up because it was 40 degrees in May for no reason. I just refuse.
I'm over here like turning heat on, turning heat off, turning air on every day.
Look, my dad trained me, okay, to pay attention to the thermostat. I'm not proud of it, but
I know. My dad's the same way.
What is it with dads? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Tennessee podcast, where this is what happens when we don't see each other. Then we just get on stupid tangents, and man, how does anybody listen to
it's been a little bit.
Oh, all right. Well,
somehow they managed.
Somehow. Thank you guys for still listening to us.
All right, you want to do a quick wristwatch check before we start?
Let's do a wristwatch check.
What you wearing?
Today I have on the Notice Contrail. So I am doing a
fitting, very fitting.
Yes, I'm doing a chat with Wes from Notice tonight. So this is being recorded on Sunday. So I figured I would throw that on, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't wear this watch often enough, but when I do, like, I fall so in love with the blue. The dial is just the perfect shade of blue for a watch for me. I have a hard time with like more sporty blue dials. Like I really like your Manta with the blue Ocean King, but I just don't think that I would ever really wear it because it's just not my blue. I'm very picky about blue. I don't know why. But,
same here.
But yeah, so this is that perfect sapphire blue. I'm very much so looking forward to chatting with Wes, because we've been like we've talked for over a year now, and we've never like talked. So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, no, I think I'm excited. I'm excited to see y'all get on there and chat for a little bit.
Yeah,
that'll be a lot of fun
for sure.
And I love the Contrail. That's probably out of their lineup my favorite watch they have.
Yeah.
I know you also have the Retrospect too, but yeah, I love the Contrail. The details are super nice on that watch.
For sure. The finishing is really nice. It just fits really well. And then speaking of the Retrospects, because I'll probably forget by the end of the podcast, because we'll get to talking about bills or something or other. But make sure you guys go over to our Instagram page. We did a post, I don't remember, a week ago. So we did a post a week ago. We, the guys from Notice are giving away a few of these watches, and they've chosen our podcast to be a platform to do that with. So get over there, look for a picture of the Notice Retrospect from a week ago. Real easy to enter in. Just basically tag 3 friends. Make sure you like us. Make sure you like Notice's page as well. And you're entered. And that's through the end of the month. So share it with everybody. It's a really awesome giveaway. And thank you to the guys at Notice for trying to spread some joy and some love to the watch fam. So
yeah.
Kat, after all that, what are you wearing today?
I am wearing my Rolex Explorer 2, the 16570. I haven't worn this watch in a while. We've had just a ton of watches in, and I've had a couple new pieces. Well, I've just had the Tudor, but
right. Let's just be honest as to why you haven't worn that watch in a while.
Yeah,
the Tudor.
But no, I haven't, and I felt like, I don't know, I wanted to wear it today. And it's just like, it is the perfect watch. I mean, and I've said this before, like I could get rid of everything in my collection except this watch, and I would be happy if it came down to that. I don't want that. It's not my desire, but I could manage absolutely with this one watch. And to me, it is just perfection. And yeah, it's a pleasure to wear. I love it.
No, it's so much. It's so good. And I agree. It's a perfect one watch collection. Like, again, not that we want to only have one watch, but if you had to have just one watch, I think that's definitely it for sure. It's such a solid piece, and I love the way it fits on your wrist. I haven't seen you wear that watch in a long time, actually.
I haven't. I probably haven't worn it in at least a month or so.
Yeah, because you got the King Turtle, and we've had the watches
the King Turtle. I got the Manta. I got the Manta.
Quarantine has been really good for you.
Yeah, well, I had some of these before like quarantine officially hit, but yeah, like I said, it's just a lot of watches coming in and out lately, and we said this before, when people send us watches to review, like we actually wear them to give the watch a fair review, and so I've been giving others a little bit more wrist time, but we've kind of died down a little bit, and now I can show my own watches a little bit of love, and it's been nice to like wear my own collection a little bit too. So
that is nice.
It's been fun. All right, well, we have a fun show today because we're gonna do a Q&A, and we haven't done a Q&A. I don't even know. I'm not going to look up when the last time
It's
we did
been
it.
a
but
long
it's been a
time
while.
though. Like we did one on Instagram Live, and that was so much fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, we haven't done
That
a
was a lot of
Q&A
fun.
in a long time, and I feel like we've had so many like really. First of all, we've had so many amazing guests lately. That I don't
Yeah.
like. Yeah, I think that it's time to maybe just spend a week and just kind of catch up on us and like. I don't know, just chat the way that we usually do. Ramble for 10 minutes about bills and air conditioning and things like that. But yeah, I'm excited. So we put out a questionnaire on Instagram, just had people submit to us some questions. Some of the questions were quite interesting. I don't know how spammers get on top of the questions, but
so many spammers.
So man, I got some shady spammers too, which
yeah, I know,
super weird, but we do have some really awesome questions too. So, and then I actually I was thinking about it. I kind of have a question or two for you. I think so. If we have time, I might
came prepared. All right,
I might. I did just in case. I might have to say, well, they were all spammer answers for a long time. I was thinking, crap, we're just gonna have to ask each other stuff. So,
yeah. Well, let's just dive in and just just pick whatever question you like. Just pick a random one, and then we'll just kind of go back and forth. I'm not gonna go in any. We'll just kind of look through and.
Do you want to go ahead and start us off then?
Yeah, I'll start one off. Let me look through. I guess I should have been looking. Okay, so here's a good one by Mr. Slotsball. I guess I say that right. I'm going to butcher all the usernames here. But he asked suggestions for a dive watch for ladies, one that isn't monstrous in size.
Ooh,
you know what? It's maybe it's Mrs. Lotsball. And it's a her that's asking this. I'm sorry, I totally
think
misread
that's where
the
we
username.
are. Yeah, I think it's Mrs.
Yeah.
Lotspa. All right, suggestions for a dive watch for ladies. Man, not monstrous. What? So what are we
right now?
Well, yeah, but it's only 100-meter water resistance. I would 100% recommend it. And it's not technically a dive watch, but I do really recommend this Norcane Adventure Sports Ladies Watch. Like, it's 100-meter water resistance. It's a screw down crown too on top of it. It's sold on a rubber strap, or you can do the stainless steel bracelet. But I don't like the term ladies watch, and I'm very skeptical about ladies watches. But this watch is so good. Oh my gosh!
But and this person, like, she asked if a dive watch for ladies, not necessarily a specific ladies watch, and I think that's a great option.
Yeah, I think it's solid.
Yeah, it's a great option. And yeah, I mean, dive watch, yeah, you could say it needs to be a little bit higher in the water resistant range, but honestly, no one's really going diving. I mean, some people do, but I think for most people, when they say dive watch, they just mean something that has a bezel, screw down crown, and plenty of water resistance for swimming, snorkeling. I mean, even some diving's okay with it, just not like super deep diving.
Right.
I would suggest the SKX 013, the 013 model. That's like a 38 millimeter size. I used to have one. I think that watch is just classic to me. I still love it. I know Breitling has a couple of ladies.
Yeah,
I guess they are
new
ladies dive
Super
watches.
Oceans. The Breitling ladies Super Oceans are amazing.
Yeah, they're so
really
cool.
genuinely like them. I mean, and I think that in this case, like, possibly consider just looking at smaller men's dive watches. There are a few, like,
just a mid-size.
Yeah, look for something mid-size for sure. So,
yeah.
Okay, because I have an answer for this, so that's why I want to ask this one. From @WatchMedicine, what is the watch that you regret not purchasing before that you could have?
Not purchasing before.
Yeah.
So if you had the chance to buy it and you missed out.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. Pretty much any Hodinkee in addition. Because I mean, I most of the time like all of them, and I miss out on them. But I don't know that I had, like, if I actually had the opportunity though, and I turned it down. That's a different question, I guess. What about you? You said you had an answer to this one.
Yeah, the last Snoopy from Omega.
Oh, you idiot.
I know. I know. And that was really before I was super like, I worked in watches. That was before, though, I was really, really, really into watches. And yeah, I really kicked myself for that one, But and also
probably could have got it at a deal too.
That was before like Omega like limited editions sold out the way that they do now too.
Yeah.
So like that one went, hindsight's 2020 right there. So kind of regretting that one.
Hurts.
Yeah, like who would have ever thought that a watch with Snoopy on it would literally triple in value? Oh my gosh.
Well, pretty much now, any limited edition is like, I don't know, people just go crazy, whether it's something really desirable or not.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree.
The way it is. All right, so I'm going to do a fun question. So the Bubbleback asks, Hattie B's or Prince's?
I feel like, I don't know
chicken.
where
This is chicken, by the way, y'all, in case for people that don't know.
And this isn't chicken. This is Nashville hot chicken. So, I feel like we answered this before, maybe on the Instagram live, but
have we?
I think so. But I'm Hattie B's. Like if you're picking between,
same.
So basically, like if we're talking about Nashville hot chicken, like those are the two most popular, places. They were arguably the originators of Nashville hot chicken. But yeah, I'm a Hattie B's. I like their overall menu better. I wouldn't necessarily say that the hot chicken is better. Like I feel like they're pretty similar, but I like Hattie B's overall menu much better.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Look at us. Let's see. Let's go with, oh man, I cannot, there's no way I can pronounce this. Let's go with, all right, so it's at CHACHI_WA. Think watch prices might go down a bit this year.
I don't know if he's talking about retail. I'm assuming maybe like gray market / like used prices.
Yeah, because I don't think like you're going to see retailers just drop the MSRP. Yeah.
I wanted to say yes. And I guess things could still change depending on what happens the rest of this year. But honestly, and I've been keeping an eye on a couple of different watches that I'm wanting myself I got a couple Rolexes that I have an eye on, like Watch Recon, and the prices are not dropping. Like they're steady. They're not going up. They're not going down. They're just kind of around the same. So honestly, I haven't seen prices drop tremendously. Doesn't mean that they aren't. Some places, depending on the person, someone might want to, everyone's at a different level. If someone needs cash, needs money, they're going to, drop the price a little bit. But I think overall, I don't think we're going to see a huge drop, to be honest with you. That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I mean, I don't see big drops in prices so far. I mean, you could argue, things like the BLNR or anything like that dropping maybe $1,000, but in the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot considering how much they go for. And even then, they dropped for a little bit, and now they're starting to climb back up. I think that what you see is people want to kind of forget all of this happened. People are definitely willing to spend money and have no problem spending money right now, especially when you look at like a higher end watch kind of level and price point. Yeah, I don't see, you might be able to find a jeweler who's struggling and who, is trying to close a few extra sales, so they're willing to discount a little heavier maybe than usual. But overall, I think the industry is going to be slow, but it's still going to be strong. I genuinely do believe that.
Yeah.
And especially,
I think it would take like us going through another recession for prices to come down tremendously.
Yeah, like I think that if something were to happen, God forbid, and we have to shut down again, I think that then we're in trouble. But you're seeing a lot of smart reopening in places, and I think the idea that businesses are reopening, cities are reopening, states are reopening, I think it kind of gives a hope in the market. So I think that you're starting to see the market go up a little bit in a lot of different areas. You're starting to see travel start to increase a little bit more. I know even the airline industry is starting to see a little bit of a reprieve from what it was. So yeah, like you said, you'll probably be able to find somebody who just needs to get some cash real fast. But you would find people like that, if you look hard enough and wait long enough at any time. So yeah, I wouldn't really count on it. I mean, for me, it's my it's my work, so I hope not.
Yeah.
As a buyer though, I kind of like the idea of it. So I don't know. We'll see. A strong economy is good for everybody at the end of the day. So,
next question comes from GJ2673, and they ask, what do you want to see? Oh wait, what do you want to see more of when it comes to female watches?
Female watches. I think that this is something I know this is something we've talked about 1,000 times. I just kind of want to see the same stuff the boys get, but in a smaller size. And I don't even think you don't have to call them female watches. I think that it's 2020. I think that people's buying habits are totally different than what they used to be. I have no problem buying a watch that's labeled, unisex. I'll even buy watches that are labeled men's watches, but men won't do the same. So I think you got to take away the idea that it's a female watch. It just needs to be a mid-size watch, or something like that. But I want to see the same technologies. I want to see innovations in technology. Give us complications. Why can't we get cool complications? Seriously. Who does, what ladies' watch has an annual calendar or a perpetual calendar? You see very few tourbillons. Yeah. And if you see a women's tourbillon watch, it's covered in diamonds and gold. Yeah, I just want to see something, sporty and casual and easy. And there are plenty of women who want cocktail watches, and that's fine. But, I'm when was the last time you wore a cocktail dress, Kat? It's been a while, right? I'm in, I'm in jeans and a t-shirt or a suit most of the time, and I just want a watch that fits my lifestyle. So, just give me what the boys have. Basically, you can put some diamonds in it. It's okay, but don't make it super blinky.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I first of all, I agree with you. I think that there needs to be more options of the larger size watches that are geared towards men. Just having a smaller option available for not only women but just for people that have smaller wrists in general. Tudor did very well. They had the Black Bay series, and then they did the Black Bay 58. And they cater to all those with smaller wrists and to women too, because that watch is just classic looking. It looks good on a man or a woman. Now, one thing I will say, along with offering some of those dive watches or sports watches in a smaller size, you can have the larger sizes, but here's the thing, and I don't see any brands doing this, is they don't have models that they kind of geared towards the ladies. So for instance, the Speedmaster, right? You have all these variations. You have the racing and all the sports ones, but then they do this whole ladies line, and it's the smaller size, the movement's not as good. Give us everything that's in the men's size, even keep it a 42 millimeter watch, and then maybe have some more feminine colors that are along with that. You don't have to make it a super small watch, stick diamonds on it, change everything about it to make it super girly. Just make some feminine accents in a watch without changing the watch completely or making it a women's line. And I'm not just dogging on Omega, because I've seen a lot of other brands do this, but it would just be nice to see them just think of women a little bit more in the design process. It's we're always an afterthought.
Yeah.
They do these really great watches and great movements and in-house stuff and complications and for instance, I'm going to talk on Omega again here, but the Seamaster line, why can't there be a more feminine Seamaster that, is not blue or black or white? And, I guess they do have some precious metal stuff too, that I guess would be a little bit more feminine, but just throw in some extra colors in there. Women like bright colors. I just would like to see that a little bit more with watches, and just not, when you're designing a watch, think about men and women, not just this is what guys want, and then we'll figure out a ladies' watch later on down the line, and we'll put a quartz movement in it or something. That always just kind of upsets me, because it seems like we're just an afterthought. And I know their market is geared mostly towards men, but, what was a watch we shared the other day? Oh, the new teal broom retrograph. So that is a watch that is not geared towards he didn't make that for ladies, but it's a great option because it's colorful. A lot of guys like it. A lot of women like it. It's great for both sexes. And I think that's a good step in the right direction. We want to see more of that. Embrace a little bit more of color instead of the stereotypical, just like manly, sporty colors that are normally seen. That was a rant. My bad.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, are you good? Take a drink of water.
I'm good.
First of all, who else does teal watches? Because I love teal, and I think that it is such a phenomenal color.
Zodiac, Doxa.
No, it's not
well,
teal.
Not really
it's turquoise, and it's not the right freaking
I don't know.
shade of
it
turquoise.
Could be teal.
No, it's not.
Maybe that's what it is.
I talked myself. I really tried to talk myself into this watch thinking it was going to be more teal, and it's not. Alan totally disappointed me. He broke my heart, but I needed it so that I could have moved on. Now, it should be teal. Somebody needs to do a teal diver. Like, it would be so good. I need a teal Doxa, or there needs to be an Omega Planet Ocean. Somebody needs to do like a chunky, badass teal dive watch. For real. Like, take my money right now because I'm about to buy this brew watch. I don't know how much longer I can say no. You've seen a teal diver?
I have seen a teal. I think I have. I'll have to get to looking on it. It's from like a smaller brand though.
Slide up in my DMs if you know somebody of a teal diver. Like, as I really don't need to be buying watches right now. But yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with. I agree with mostly what you said. You know, the Speedmaster, I will say, I think the Lady Speedmaster collection from Omega is a solid choice. So it's 38 millimeters. The only thing that I would say is no, it doesn't have the in-house movement. It has like I think it's the 3330 movement, which it's almost equally good, minus the fact that it doesn't have the anti-magnetic thing and all of the other stuff, which I don't know. I can give or take, but I mean, it's a great technology, and they do like a lot of really girly options in that, but then they do like, there's this really cool charcoal gray dial. There's just a traditional black dial. I think but the problem with that is a lot of men like that watch too, but it's labeled a woman's watch and they won't buy it. You know, and so I think that's
and I'm not
where...
saying, and I definitely don't want like a label on
things. No. But I'm saying I think that's where, you know, even when you look at the argument of taking gender out of watches, that's where, you know, it bites big brands in the ass, because I know of a lot of men who love that watch but will not buy it because it's a lady's watch. And, you know, when you try, it's not even something you can try and like, you know, kind of get out of, because when you try it on in store, it's clearly a lady's bracelet. So, I mean, the gender just needs to come out of watches, period. It's ridiculous. Like, all you have to do is put the size on there. We can figure it out, you know? It's just, it's crazy to me that it's still put on watches. I can only imagine the amount of watch sales that are lost on it. But yeah,
well, same goes for women too, because a lot of women that are not, you know, watch enthusiasts are not going to go in an AD, and they're not going to go straight to the men's section. You know, they're going to look
Lord
at what...
knows no salesperson will take them to a men's section.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. Yeah, unfortunately.
All right. Oh man, what is?
We'll move on because we could literally spend a whole episode talking about that
on this one. Hang on. Sorry, everybody's like texting me all of a sudden. They're sending me watches. I'm on the podcast talking about watches. Literally, I'll give Steven a shout out real quick. So Steven Tsai, who is at, how do you spell his username? SCHTEB or VIE?
Stevie.
Yeah, Stevie is literally sending me a Reddit link to the Doxa Sub 200 Aquamarine. Like, he must be psychic. Okay, so I have a question for you. I'm gonna ask this. It's a two-parter, okay? And it only relates to you because I can't answer because I have no experience. Well, I do have experience.
Okay.
One. Anyways, okay. So part one: what watch do you most regret buying during your flipping days? And then part two: what watch do you most regret selling and getting rid of?
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
During my flipping days.
During your flipping days, because which is like 2 months ago, but it's fine. All right, we won't say during your flipping days. During your going through the process of learning what you want in a watch days.
I was going through a phase. And I was like weekly, like in and out. Stuff was coming in and out like crazy.
Poor Jonathan.
It wasn't weekly. I'm exaggerating a little bit. It was like every other week.
Oh, thank you for clarifying that it wasn't quite weekly.
Yeah, I think the one thing I have regretted, I don't think it's a specific watch per se, more of like an experience that I've learned from. And that was the whole eBay thing. I know we talked about it several months back, but I had bought a watch on eBay, and this was before I really knew to like make sure the person had a lot of references, and they had a couple of ratings, and it was like 5 or 4 stars, and I was so anxious to buy this watch that I just hit the buy button, and then within like 5 minutes the seller deleted the listing and deleted his account on there, and so I immediately had to get on the phone with eBay, and he had my money at that point, and luckily it was all through PayPal, and I got my money back, but it took like a month for me to get my money back. It was just a scary experience. So I think as far as regrets, that was probably a major regret, and I've learned from that since, and that was, again, pretty early on before I knew much. And then selling, I've had a few regrets on that one. Man, I'm going to say one that I actually put in my stories like last night, because, you see the, 1 year ago today or
memories.
2 years ago today. Yeah, and it was the Nomos Club Campus, and I sold that watch because I was like, I didn't like the fact it didn't have a date, and now I've kind of gotten over that. I have 2 watches now that don't have a date, and I'm perfectly happy and satisfied with them, and it was just one of those, oh, crap, my AirPod dropped out of my ear. It was just one of those. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, I thought maybe I hung up on you because like I hit the side button,
No,
like putting
good.
it back in. Okay, it's just one of those things that I don't know. I got too worked up over in the beginning, and it's just like you go through phases. Like for a long time I didn't buy any quartz watches, and now I'm totally fine with quartz. And just me being stupid really, and not really thinking through. And
well, it's you learn, yeah. It's not necessarily being stupid. You just, you think you have it. It's like relationships. You think you know what you want, and then
you figure out what's really important.
Yeah.
The only thing important is telling the time, y'all.
No, it has to look pretty when you do it, and it has to take good pictures. That's the other thing. I mean,
that is true. There are things that I don't get over.
Yeah.
But I'm totally fine with, no date watches at this point. I don't want a whole collection of them because I do still prefer a date.
Yeah.
But having a couple in there, honestly, it's kind of nice when you like go to pick it up. You don't have to set anything. You
Amen.
Just set the time and go.
I mean, I don't know what that's like, but I feel like that would be really nice. All week, I've literally just been wearing the same watch every day at work because it's set. And I know that that's so terrible, and I should probably not have admitted that, but because okay. I find myself
this is a safe place.
Yay. But I'm trying to like get my morning routine back down, and like I should have more time in the mornings, because right now with my work hours, I go in like an hour and a half later than what I used to, but I don't know what happens. And then I'm still rushing out the damn door every day. It's a whole situation. I don't know what to do about it. It is what it is. I would say I think the watch that I miss that you used to have was the you had the cream dial Seiko Alpinist.
Oh yeah.
I like that watch.
It's funny because now they've come out with this other version now.
No.
I don't know the reference number on it. But at the time, the SARB 013 was actually the reference of the cream one I had. Super rare. Like it took me a year to get a hold of one of those watches, and I can't believe that I did get rid of it. But I think I like the green dial more. And I never wore the cream because it was like so rare that I just didn't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
Because you just could not find them, and they're still very, very rare now. But now I think with the other cream dial that came out, it's very similar, so it's not as special. But yeah, I totally forgot about that one.
Yeah, it's fine.
How sweet.
All your watches. It's fine.
All right, so another question here from Broke Watch Loving Teacher. He asked, what was each of your gateway watches? I guess so, gateway into the hobby or
I thought it was getaway watches.
collecting?
Wait.
Is it getaway? No, it's gateway.
Oh, gateway? Oh.
Yeah, it's your gateway watch.
I did not read these well. I think, so mine, I think, was really so I had my Aquaterra for a long time. And then I bought the Planet Ocean. And I think, like, once I bought the Planet Ocean, like, that's when I bought the Planet Ocean is when I really started getting, like, deep into the hobby and all. And I think yeah, I'll say my Planet Ocean for sure. Like, then it went downhill from there. It went all the watches from there.
So I think that for me, when I first started out, I had a very small collection for a pretty good while. I wasn't really comfortable with buying and selling it. I was just kind of figuring out who I was and what my style was as far as watches go. The first automatic watch I had was the Seiko SKX 013, and I love that watch. And I think a couple months after that, I bought the Omega Seamaster. It was the electric blue dial.
I love that dial.
Yeah. And after that, I was a goner because that watch was so nice and so beautiful. And honestly, once you kind of take that step into like an Omega or a Rolex or a Tudor, or something like a Breitling, or even just some of those watches, there's a whole world of difference between the Seikos, and I had a bunch of Tissot's and Hamiltons, and it's just a whole nother level up. And it's hard to go back all the time. And now I don't really care. I can appreciate both in their own way. But yeah, that watch definitely, I held a lot of watches up to par with that one. And it was just so nice, and just a beautiful watch in general. I would love to see like Omega try to modernize that dial a little bit more.
Yeah,
I didn't like this. The polish bezel wouldn't really work today. It's a little outdated. But man, that electric blue dial is so pretty on that Seamaster. It would be really cool to see.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's one of my favorite older Seamasters for sure.
Yeah, I think Abby Shake has one. I think he has one of
I think he does.
Blues.
Yeah. Okay, so from at SUM11T, save up for a Speedy that I really want, or buy an Oak and Oscar Olmsted, which I love. I think this is an interesting one. Because I feel like this is all of our life struggles right now, and just in general.
Yeah. So I messaged him back because he messaged that. I think we put this up on like last Thursday or something.
Yeah.
And we did the Oak and Oscar review Friday, and I sent him a link, and I told him just, hey, keep an eye out for Friday's episode. So I hope that he listened to the review of the Olmsted that we did. But this is a question, like you said, we all have. Do you keep saving for something that's not necessarily a grail, but a goal?
Yeah.
Or do you buy what's in front of you? And we actually kind of had this chat the other night where, these micro brands get you because they're going to be limited. They're not going to have a lot of stock. And, so potentially they'll sell out within minutes or hours or a day. And then you're kind of gone at that point. You can't really get the watch. So it is tough, but I'm going to say if you, and I don't know, have you wanted the Oak and Oscar longer? Or have you wanted the Speedy longer? I'm going to say go for what you really want. If you've wanted the Oak and Oscar for a long time and the Speedy's kind of new on your list, then maybe go for the Oak and Oscar first. But if the Speedy is something you really, really want, the Oak and Oscar is going to set you back as far as whatever your goal is.
Yeah.
And it's a tough decision. And, it's your choice at the end of the day. I mean, it's not like you get the Oak and Oscar and you're not going to be able to get the Speedy. It's just going to take a little bit longer perhaps to get there. I don't know. So
yeah,
I would just get whatever you want more. That's easier said than done, I know.
Yeah, I want all of them. That's the problem. But yeah, it is. It's very hard because I feel like there's always something else. There's always a new watch, a new sparkly thing to distract us from like our collecting in general. And I don't even have a collecting goal. Like my collecting goal right now is just to not freaking buy watches. But like I'm ready to shell out money for John's new teal colored retrograph, and
I know.
I'm eyeballing this notice that we have in for the giveaway like crazy. I think that I'm gonna actually sell a watch to get this watch. That I'm gonna do the 1 in 1 out rule. But yeah, it's like it's hard, but I genuinely feel like it's kind of I hate to always say that watches are kind of like relationships, but like you should really go after what you really want. Like, don't get distracted by things that kind of pop up here and there. Like, something's always going to pop up. But to me, if the Speedmaster is still in the back of your mind all the time, then that's probably the watch that you should go for, or you know, just kind of in general, whatever you're thinking about collecting. Now the reality is maybe if you're limited to where, you know, it would take you 2 years to save up for the Speedmaster, that is hard, because then you have to think, you know, 2 years without buying anything at all. And maybe you find something, and not just a Speedmaster, just whatever watch you're thinking about getting. So maybe you find something a little bit less expensive to kind of fill the gap. I mean, I see that as being very justified, but I think that there's nothing worse than buying a watch, but still having this other watch kind of in the back of your mind, you know, like, oh man, you know, this is great and all, but it's still not this. You know, I don't know. It's tough. And at the end of the day, you know your finances, you know what you like. It's tough. These are the problems, man, that nobody tells you when you start getting into watches. Nobody says it's an addiction. Good luck. Like,
yeah.
Man.
Yeah, saving for a piece has never been my strong suit, so.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. I know. Shocker.
I'm also to where I'm like, okay, so we're not going to Scotland this year. So there's all that money that I just had chilling in savings that in my mind was spent for Scotland. And I could just spend it and buy a new watch. But
yeah. I know. I am trying to be good. You know, I'm not
back
to work yet, and I mean, I am. Like the tutor, the tutor was something that like I had to jump on. Or at least I didn't have to. I wanted to. But I made a hard decision. I got rid of the Grand Seiko, which I really loved, but I couldn't really afford to have both in the collection, and certainly the husband was not gonna let me do that. But and I've had talks with him that like, okay, I'm gonna be good for a while, and I am good for a while. Like, honestly, I was looking at my collection today. I pulled everything out and kind of cleaned up some watches, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a fantastic collection here. Yeah. And sometimes I don't get to see that because all my watches are in a safe now, and I feel like they're kind of put away out of sight, and I don't really appreciate them as a collection as a whole. And pulling them all out today, I was like, I honestly am just happy. And I don't really, I have some wants, obviously, the Brew retrograph that came out is a want, but I've already told myself, like, I'm just going to wait. It's an immediate thing that I want because they released it and it's a color I like, but I am going to try to be better about making smart choices. Is it a watch that I just want because it's pretty? Am I going to wear it? What are the situations I'm going to wear it in? Because honestly, I have so many great pieces in my collection now. I would wear them through any situation. So it's a tough choice, and I've just got to be really careful about future stuff because I don't want to get to that point where I'm selling pieces off like crazy because I'm not wearing them again. Yeah. So I've learned a little bit about, what I'm buying, and I have a really small collection now, but I'm very, very happy with it. So, yeah, that's always a good question. That's a good one. All right, we have time for probably a couple more here, right?
Sure.
Okay, so by H. Packlard, they asked, do you think the Tokyo 2020 Omegas will become a future collectible?
Is it wait.
I think all
of them. I don't
all the 2020.
So the ones that I think will be collectible are those Speedmasters, because those were Japan exclusives.
Already
they were
limited,
Tokyo
right?
exclusives. They were I think they were still limited to like 2020 or something like that, like standard, like, Omega kind of limited edition, where they do it based on the year. But
those were only you could only get them.
Yes, you could only get them in Japan. Yes, they were legit Japanese exclusive watches. And they came out like, I think last year, maybe the year before even. So they came out well before the Olympics. But yeah, I think those definitely collectible. I think they're collectible now. Now I have a client and a friend here in Nashville who he actually has been slowly kind of collecting them. So he just purchased the blue one, and he paid a small premium from an or from a dealer here in the United States. His other two, he was in Japan and had gotten. But it wasn't like a huge premium. I think it was like maybe $1,000 over MSRP, and this jeweler had two of them. So, and this was for the blue, which to me was like the prettiest of all the colors. But
no, I like the red one.
I just don't know how I feel about wearing a red watch. It's a lot of color for me.
It's like the dial is not red though.
No, it's still
like a silver, like a silvery. Yeah,
it's still just
I like it.
I don't know how I feel about red, in watches, but that's a whole other discussion. No, I think that those will be collectible, but the other limited editions, I mean, I don't see like ever a huge demand for the Omega Olympic watches. I think that they're all very beautiful. Now I do love this year's where they have the white Planet Ocean with just the little bit of red, like they have the red counterweight on the red lollipop secondhand to be kind of like the Japanese flag. I like the more subtle stuff. I don't think it's going to be any more limited because they're branded 2020 and the Olympics are in 2021. Like, I've heard that discussion quite a few times. I don't know if that's kind of where this question is going, but I don't think so. I mean, in that case, you have every t-shirt company, every sporting good company who's already, done their 2020 Olympics. It just made sense to do it that way. Like, nobody's going to cut through and do 2021 Olympics. It's still called the 2020 Olympics. So I don't think that's going to make any difference. But I say the Tokyo ones will be collectible, but the other ones, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be collectible. From what I've seen, I've seen a couple of like the older Olympic Seamasters from, whether it's from Vancouver or wherever, on like the watch forums. And there's usually a little bit of a premium even as a used watch, but they're not really I mean, I don't know what you consider collectible. I mean, obviously people want them, but I see them sitting for days and days and days, and if not weeks. So I'm going to assume that when something's collectible, it's going to be picked up pretty quickly once it's put on the market.
Yeah.
And I just don't see that happening with even the older stuff. So I don't think this one, like you said, is going to be any different.
Yeah.
But they're pretty.
They are pretty. Let's do one more. All right, let's do from at Kellen.Lemler, Lemler. Favorite interview so far and why?
Okay, so I think my favorite, this is really hard.
It's
hard. It's honestly our first two.
Okay.
Our first two. And the reason is honestly because we were just in person. And it's so much better to be in person. Not that I've loved talking to people over the phone. We've done some Zoom stuff, but nothing beats like going out to eat, chilling, and then recording a podcast. It just made the whole experience better. I honestly, I think our first interview is hard to beat with Nicholas from Fears.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's one of the best experiences we've had with this podcast. That, and then Justin and Michael from Monta when they came down in December. Those two are definitely my favorite.
Yeah.
What about you?
I kind of agree in that way of like the in-person stuff is just it's so much better. Just in a more personable way, I guess. I don't know. Like the thing is I feel like everybody we've interviewed, we have such great relationships with, even if we didn't necessarily have a great relationship with them before we interviewed with them. Like afterwards, like we talk a lot, like we message a lot. So it's hard to say like that you have a favorite, you know, person because of the person or the content. You know, I think that interviewing Nick from Fears as our first, and then Justin Amanta from Justin Amanta, say it, Justin and Michael from Manta. You know, we say they're our favorites because it was an experience. Like it, you know, there's all these memories that will always be attached to those two interviews, having been our first and only interviews so far in person because of everything going on right now. You know, our only hometown interviews. No, we did interview, you know, Rob and Lacko
back in the day.
But yeah, like they're the hometown interviews. As far as people, I genuinely could not pick a favorite person that we've interviewed.
It's so hard.
Everybody's so different.
Everybody's just been
amazing.
Everyone's different. Yeah.
Oh my God. Everybody is so amazing. Kat and I joke about this all the time. You guys have no idea. We're like, I don't know what we're going to do when we get on the phone with somebody who's like a stick in the mud and hard to talk to or just, you know, kind of a jerk. I don't know what we're going to do. Yeah. Everybody has been so amazing. And I feel like we've gotten to speak to some of like just the most genuine and fun people in this industry, you know?
Yeah.
Jenny and Teddy, you know, on the YouTube front.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, it's so...
I forgot about them too.
I know. It's so crazy.
So many interviews.
Just the stuff that we've done. I mean, even just this year, it's so humbling. Like, we said 2020 was going to be, you know, our year because we thought that we had...
It still is.
Well, yeah, but we, you know, because we had all of these plans. Everybody was going to come to Nashville and, like, we had all of this stuff planned out. And then Corona. But we've still made 2020, like, the most amazing year for this podcast. Like, and that... I mean, honestly, probably 90% of that is because we've gotten to talk to some of the most awesome people in this industry and in this hobby.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's everybody, all of the above are our favorites.
All of the above. Everybody's been great.
But the experiences from Manta and Fears are definitely my favorite.
Yeah, I'm hoping, you know, maybe later this year into next year we'll get back to that because it is so much fun just getting to hang with people and having the watch meet up, and it's just, it's the best. And I think it was so sad last week because, like, we have a little Nashville Watch Club group text message, and we were supposed to have our meetup last Wednesday, and Andy sent the text, and he was just, like, sad face, and, it's just such a bummer. Such a bummer.
We'll get back to it.
I miss our people.
I do miss our people. I really do. So, yeah. I think that's going to wrap up our Q&A for today.
I think so.
This was fun.
That was fun.
It was so random and fun.
We go into this. We just like, we don't know what we're going to say. That's almost every episode though for me.
I've been so scatterbrained today. The fact that I made it through this episode is a miracle. So, but yeah, thank you guys for submitting questions. And it was fun just to mix things up a little bit. Because we haven't done one of these in a long time, and so it's always cool to kind of see what you guys want to know and go from there. We'll have show notes, of course, on the website www.10and2.com. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook at 10and2 Media. Kat has made us a Twitter. I've never even been on Twitter, so I have to get with Kat and find out like what our stuff is for Twitter. But we have a Twitter.
It's 10and2 Media at 10and2 Media. It's the same as like our Instagram and stuff. Yeah, I made it really easy.
Good, thank goodness.
I've never been on Twitter either, but I figured like why not? There's a lot of people that are on there that might want to see pictures and stuff. So pretty much everything we put on social media. If you don't have an Instagram, you don't have a Facebook, but you do have a Twitter, well, now you can see our stuff too. So
very cool.
We're trying to reach everybody.
Everybody. Yeah. So go follow us on Twitter. I don't know. I have to download Twitter now. I've never in my life had a Twitter account.
I don't know.
So.
Do people? I think people like. I think you can comment. I don't even know. I'll figure this out.
We're Twitter experts, clearly. We're 5 seconds away from getting a 10 and 2 TikTok. So
yeah, pretty much. That's the next progression. So
is it?
You know what? Hey! I deleted TikTok.
No, you did not.
I deleted it this week.
Kat, the other day I was on there for like 3 hours laying, and I know. I intentionally went to bed at like 9 o'clock. It was just on there forever. Now
that like I really don't know when I'm going back to work, and I'm like, I want to read more. I want to do like
you want to be a productive
stuff. I want to try to be, and so TikTok is just getting in the way of that. So one less distraction. I wasn't like totally attached to it, so I did that.
It's not that I'm attached, but when I do get on there, it's.
I know you leech on.
Yes,
you can't let go.
It's like I understand now people who watch YouTube, because I'm not a YouTuber. Like I don't binge watch videos on YouTube. I'll watch videos from like the people that I like, and that's it. I don't like get into these rabbit holes. But I now understand you guys.
I definitely do.
No, I don't. But, all right. So 10 and 2 is probably not going to be on TikTok for a while. So